All right, we are back with another episode of Ran Out of Talent. How are you doing tonight, Zach?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. I forgot to make a post about questions earlier this week, earlier today. I've had like, it doesn't seem like a busy day, but man, we were busy today. Hey, Theodore, checking in. Um, so yeah, we should get right into it. What do you think?
Why not? Yeah, I
Yeah.
was looking up the Roar national results for the Truggy. It's
Yeah.
interesting so far.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in 2 seconds. So, oh, we had a. Ooh. All right, I'll put the video on in the background. But first off, this episode we got two sponsors. This episode, Zach, our first sponsor is Party Crashers RC. Um, they bring the RC fun to you with portable tracks, along with RC cars and trucks. They do it all with community ed events, park and rec events, city events, county fairs, scouts, churches, graduation, work events, and private events in your backyard. They have track nights at some of your competitive racing tracks so you can try racing against others. They do parking lot racing in the summer and ice racing in the winter. Um, they do large 110 scale off road parties and newly added 10 scale style NASCAR parties. We can arrange RC drifting and crawling as well. If space is an issue, they can do 128 or even 176 micro. They have MyLapse timing with, you know, on live RC from toddlers to great great grandparents. They're passionate about racing. Go to Party Crashers on Facebook or go to partycrashersrc.com. We are racing with the Party Crashers guys next Sunday at Parker Elementary in Elk River, Minnesota. That's for the airsoft guys. We're hey Jacob checking in. We have the Nats on in the background. We'll pop that up. But anyways, we're going to be doing parking lot racing next Sunday. Um, Chris already posted points. You know, it's not supposed to be a competitive thing, but man, that got my competition stuff flowing. Next up, week after on July 6th, we're going to be heading to Southern Minnesota Raceway for their Dash for Cash race. Cash payouts for all classes, awards, concessions, vending machines, indoor pits, and restrooms available. The Classman at Southern Minnesota RC Raceway will be Sportsman Open 110th four-wheel drive. They got e-buggy, e-truggy, nitro buggy, nitro truggy, super moto dirt bikes, and one fifth scale. It's going to be $25 a class. They're going to have a barbecue food truck there. It's going to rule. Also, go to Southern Minnesota RC Raceway. Contact those guys for your MNRC gear. Dude, I am so pumped for both of those races. I know you weren't here for because
I was listening. I had a.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I figure you might be having a dad kind of day, like your kid. So sorry. Yeah.
Is that
So
a bot?
what was that?
Is that a bot that just commented on? I
Yep,
don't even
that's
know
a
what that is.
bot. That is a bot. That is hold on, let's show it. Does anybody else know Russian? I don't know Russian.
Apparently, my dryer is on the fritz now, and I will have to take a look at that tomorrow. But I got it to start, so
Yes, that's good. We have a sick pug upstairs to add to the stress of the weekend. Jessica Oldham checking in. Yeah, we all ran at, I should bring up those results before we put the Nationals on in the background because there's still 44 minutes left to go in our 1A scale Nitro Buggy A main with Ryan Mayfield in the lead. Yeah, let me bring up North Branch because that was a crazy weekend. We got in a round and a half of qualifying. It rained, and excuse me. Um, it rained so much that so normally for MNRC weekends, we start meetings at 9 a.m. on Sunday. We ain't get going until 1:30. So it was a pretty late one, but it was
Joe,
fun. We got it.
you should check the live again. Ryan's not leading anymore.
Oh, you don't see Jessica anymore?
No, Ryan's not leading anymore. It's Dakota's
Oh.
leading, followed by Mason.
So Dakota's doing something with the funky pits, but we'll talk about MNRC round number 2 first, because that's our local deal. And I'll put it up in the background because we got a few things to talk about tonight, but it'll be good to have up in the background. That track, that HCRC track looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it does.
So Ashton Abdul came up from Nebraska. He ended up winning it, followed by Drew Dawkin in the 2, Alan Smith in the 3. E. Truggy, Greg Baumel 1, followed by Lucas Lazari and Lance Parker in the 3. Nitro Buggy, Ashton Abdul doubles up. But I'll tell you what, with both E-Buggy, more E-Buggy, but Drew Dawkin was keeping up with Ashton pretty well. They were racing very well together. But Ashton wins Nitro Buggy. Drew Dawkin takes second. Tony Slenton takes third. And then Truggy was Josh Ford, Greg Baumel, Tony Sletton. It was a great weekend of racing, except for the rain. The rain always sucks. And I always say, you know what? We got to move Loose Nuts a week later. Well, it rained all this weekend too, basically. You know. So, yeah, we have a sick animal right now. Oh, no. Oh, crap.
Am I okay? I good?
No. Yeah, there it goes. Live RC. I just had to catch a browser up for the live. So Fenn's back in the lead. So Fenn's car and Fenn are ridiculously fast, but the problem is I don't think Fenn has a 1-hour car. So the reason I don't think Fenn has a 1-hour car, because at the start of this race, his car was catching divots easily, like really easy. There is no stability in that thing. Oh, Fenn's coming in. He's at 41. So they're working at cutting one entire pit stop out now. Here comes Mayfield back to the lead. Man, they got a frickin' hornet's nest going down that straightaway. Now, let's see if I can add this now. I mean, if we get booted from YouTube, we get booted from YouTube. You know what I mean? This is just too cool. I got to select the proper right here. All right. Come on. Okay. Oh, crap. I accidentally hit remove.
Right. While you're doing that, Theodore. So, do you have any advice for a guy irritated enough with the hobby? He's thinking about selling everything. So, it sounds like, I don't know what's getting you down, but for me, when I'm having a rough time with RC, it's generally because of like some aspect of imbalance, whether that's the class I'm in, I'm not enjoying it anymore. The track is doing something weird, making the class not enjoyable. There's somebody sandbagging. Manufacturers are making it suck in the class because you got to buy a new motor again. Something like that. So my advice would be find something you enjoy and just do that. Now that may mean you have to put in a little more work to do that. Like, for example, mod. I love mod. It is a very difficult class to race, but once you kind of like understand and get your feet under you in mod, it's very fun. And I really enjoy it. I probably won't race stock again if I had a choice.
Right. Also, we've talked about, I don't think Theodore races. I think he's building a track in his yard. But like you and I have said a few times, races are lost in the pit. I lost a race in the pits recently, and it sucks. if you're not doing the proper maintenance to your stuff and it's break. Oh, Fenn gets hung up. Here comes feed to the outside. Sorry, God. Oh man, sorry, Theodore. There's a crazy three-way battle for the lead between Mayfield, Fend, and Fee Long, and Fuller's right there too.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous, dude. I can't say enough about this track in Indiana. I want to come here. You know, they also race fifth scale here as well. I don't think we,
Is HRCR in Indiana?
yeah, I don't think we would do well on that double wall. Oh, someone got popped a little bit there. Yeah, but this double wall coming up right here to where the cars are actually, I like it because it makes them slow up a lot. It's coming up right here.
It's
Go
in
to
Idaho.
oh, Idaho. I'm sorry. Why I think
I was
Indiana?
like, man,
Right here.
well,
Right here.
ID. But
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, Theodore saying mainly being overlooked when asking for help because I'm unknown in the community. Yeah. Yeah. Donnie's saying it's in Idaho. Theodore, yeah, I mean, I get it, man.
where are you at, Theodore? What
Theodore's in
city
northern
and state?
Minnesota
Is
or
he
North
close to you,
Dakota.
Joe?
Yeah, I've been trying to get him to come down. Well, close is relative. He's probably 4 hours from where we're racing next week.
I wonder
But
if
I've been trying to get him to come down.
Theodore, what's your home track? Maybe
So
I have some people there that can help you out.
yeah. So, anyways, what I was gonna say is, oh, are you thinking about Rick Andring?
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
it depends what I don't know what he's doing, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
Well, that's not helpful. I don't know what yours is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, speaking of, oh, RC news for me. I forgot to tell. Oh, I told you, but so I made a conscious decision. The weekend of July 13th. I'm gonna be in. I'm gonna go to INS, and I'm gonna be in the booth for Mod Media doing their live broadcast along with Matt Olson. I'm not. Oh, someone just crashed. Sorry. God. This is so cool to have this up, but it's such a distraction.
Well, maybe we just close it then.
Yeah, no, I'll just stop watching. So sorry about that. So Theodore, there's no tracks around you, buddy. It sucks. We've been. It hasn't happened often down where we are, but it has happened before. There have been times to where I've driven 4 hours to Des Moines to run at a track the size of a postage stamp just to race. And it's rough. And up where Theodore is at, the RC community might not be that big. Theodore, what city are you in again? I could probably point you to a track. There are tracks up where he's at because I think he's like northern Minnesota, North Dakota, around there. But anyway,
Well, then wouldn't that be with like Kevin and Rita and those guys?
no, they're east side northern Minnesota. He's west side.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
So
I don't know.
Minnesota is a deceivingly large state. Oh, Mayfield
I
almost
know.
just made it. So from bottom to top, it's probably a 9-hour drive. So I gotta look up because he says Beiju. Anyway, so what's new with you? Have you raced at all this week, Zach, or last week, or at all?
No, I'll be racing next week.
Okay.
I did some maintenance on my car today.
Yep.
Asphalt. Normally for like carpet, unless I like blow a car up, like I smash the wall really hard.
Yeah.
I don't really do much maintenance. Or
Right.
maybe the diff's feeling weak, I'll rebuild the diff.
Sure.
But like it's pretty like the maintenance is like the general setup, like the day-to-day stuff. Unless you like make a big crash, isn't like you don't have to take the car apart that often.
Yeah.
But on asphalt, there's a lot of debris, a lot of stuff coming up, and I noticed that the last event, when I got there, my drivetrain wasn't as free as I would like it.
Yep.
It still was kind of free. I took the belts or the spur gear off, which is really easy on my car. It's one screw, and then I took the belts off, and I spun the front and the rear, and they spun okay.
Yep.
So it wasn't like real bound up, but it wasn't great. So I took it apart and cleaned the bearings, and that solved the problem
Yeah.
with that. And then I put new internals in a gear diff that has Eaton internals. So if this doesn't work, I'm throwing the gear diff away. I don't know, using it for parts maybe.
No, maybe respace it if it eats it again.
But the
Does that
spacers
make
are right. I measured all of them.
Huh.
I don't know what's.
Maybe.
Hoping I got some bad plastics.
Yeah, I hope so as well. So, Beju is up by Warren, and it's it's not by. So it's an hour 15 from Warren, Minnesota, and it's an hour and 20 from Fargo. I would go to the Fargo.
Close.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, I do that usually weekly.
Yeah.
So
I drive 2.5 hours to go race.
Yeah.
Or 45 minutes the other way to go race off road.
Right. Oh man, did Fee? I think Ryan just went in for a pit, so Fee's going to inherit that lead again. There's Dakota, man.
Dakota made a mistake.
Yeah. So yeah. This weekend, though, besides having a sick dog, we went and bought Beth a new car yesterday. A full
really?
scale. Yeah.
Would you get her?
That was an adventure because, well, we decided on a Camry.
Okay.
And we didn't know which one. And dude, they don't depreciate. We did get her a used one, but it was only like $2 or $3 grand cheaper than a new one.
Yeah, it's the same thing when my wife bought a new car. That's why she bought a new one, because it was $2 grand more for a new car versus a used one.
Yeah, so we didn't do a loan, so we had what we had type scenario. So I was hoping the first car we looked at worked out. So we went to this dealership in Buffalo, Minnesota, and we looked at this Camry. They wanted 24 for it, and it's been on the lot for months. It's like, whatever, because it's a Jeep dealership. Nobody's going there looking for Toyotas.
Right.
We drove it just to get a feel for it, but man, this car was a wreck. It didn't track straight. The driver's side door didn't line up. So, like, you know how you only close the door halfway and it just stays popped a little bit? That's the way this car was 100% of the time. Major road rash on the wheels. I was hoping that one would work out. Oh, he's upside down and the marshal's getting somebody else. Sorry. I was selfishly hoping that one would work out because there would have been money left for a pit trailer. But I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, honey, no. So then we went to another dealership who used the bait and switch car. They put an ad up that was too good to be true. And they're like, hey, but we do have these ones in stock. It's like, nope, see ya. Third dealership we went to, they had what we needed right away. So I was happy about that. It was, 31 grand out the door, but it's a very solid ride. I'm really happy with what we got. No money left over for a pit trailer, though, unfortunately. So we've had a pretty stressful-ish weekend.
I bet. We went to so my wife is she's vegan because she's allergic to meat and dairy, and so is my daughter, which is a weird combination. So she likes to go to these vegan things. So we went to Vegan Fest, which was interesting.
Yeah,
we went there last year. They have these really good acai bowls. So that was good. Yeah.
Did you see my Facebook story the other day when it was a jiu-jitsu dude realizing that acai and Jesus mean testosterone and tren?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So, I love acai bowls. What else did they? I mean, is it like a lot of soy and like tofu and stuff like that?
Not, yeah, but it's like you. Are you familiar with like seitan and soy curls?
Yeah.
So it's like that. It's not meat, but it's not like just fruits and vegetables. It's
Right.
got some substance to it. It's okay. The one I actually got like a chicken sandwich that used the fried oyster mushroom, which is really
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Place had awesome lemonade. It took me half an hour to get a sandwich, and I was very upset. And they
Yeah.
didn't give me my fries after they
Oh
told
no.
me they didn't have onion rings anymore. So train wreck, and I was upset, and I get really hangry, and it
Yeah.
was to that point. So yeah, and then yeah. So, but my daughter does really good out in public, so it's kind of nice. We take
That's
her out
good.
there, and we got her this little fan that gets hooks onto the stroller, and so she had that, and then we keep her cool, and we're trying
Yeah.
to,
How's
after
she
we were
doing?
only there a couple hours, but
Yeah. Is
uh,
she almost through the teething phase?
no, she hasn't had any teeth yet, but she has like we can feel her gums are like the shape of her gums are
Yep.
changing, so the teeth are really
Sure.
close, and she's acting like she's teething,
Oh,
drooling, when to chew on like hard-ish stuff. We have
yeah.
all these teething things for her, and then she likes she's got the chewing part down, but she doesn't have any teeth to chew.
Dude, those baby teeth are like glass, sharp shards of glass when they come in.
Yeah, I'll
They
have to keep
really
that
are.
in mind. Right, her fingernails are sharp like that. They like she
Yeah.
scratched me, and it was like a cut. And it was just a little, and we keep them short because they keep like we tried letting them grow out, and like she just keeps scratching herself up all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Fend with a mistake. He caught a divot again. Now Rivkin's in that number 3 spot. I don't think he's. It looks like Fee's in the number 3. I wonder if they missed a lap on him. Nope, never mind. Huh.
So I'm looking at it here on Live RC, and
Yeah.
did you see Spencer make a hard charge about 10 minutes ago?
Yep.
And then he just kind of like fell off. I don't know what happened there.
It's a hard track. Lots of traffic. And being an announcer in a scenario, leader gets hung up with the lapper. Ryan Mayfield to the lead. Fend back to the inside over the double. Takes it back. Wow. There's 26 minutes left, and they're fighting like it's a minute left.
But you got to, because
Yeah.
if you let that person run away, it's done. If they're
Yeah.
that close right now after half an hour,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 35 minutes, that's
The
ridiculous.
top, the top guys do not make mistakes. Well, deathly mistakes. Like in 30 minutes, I probably would have needed 6 marshals, to be honest. And
Probably, yeah. It's hard to drive. Like that's a whole different thing what they're doing. Like 8 minutes is hard. Like when you race with 5 minutes and then you go to 8 minutes for like 12 scale, those last 3 minutes are rough because you don't have
yes,
that mental stamina built up or the physical stamina. Like sometimes, like my hands don't work good after 7 minutes.
so you've ran e-buggy. The difference between this is so the tires heat up, the shocks heat up. Shock fade is a real thing.
I bet diffs too.
Diffs as well. Another thing, a lot like you feel it a little bit. It's not that big of a deal, but your car feels different from a full tank to an empty tank because
I
that's
bet.
weight. So there's, oh man, he's just caught right back up to the tail of Mayfield. There's so many factors that you're sitting there constantly computing, and it's so hard to keep up with. That's one of the reasons I like it because it's so hard. I'm not good at nitro racing, but I like it.
I think it would be really fun to do like an extended main like that, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
don't know if I have it because we did like an enduro um at the carpet track with Euro trucks,
Yes.
and we did I'm gonna say it was like 10 or 15 minutes on a battery. Wherever like it
Okay.
started to fade really hard,
Yep.
and then we would swap it out. and that was rough. It was
Yeah,
like it was noticeable from the start because you got to each person had to go out twice. So at like the start of it, you were clicking off like we'll say 10-second lap times, but at the end of
sure.
it, you were doing like 11s
Yeah,
because you're like, what's going on? And then the next person would come out and like, and granted, the tires did cool off a little bit, and maybe the diffs cooled down and the motor cooled down, and you got a fresh battery, so a lot of things going on there too. But it was hard.
Fenn's in for a pit, so that ooh, they're doing the math. So Fenn does one less pit because everybody's doing that 7.5, but I think they're trying to stretch it a bit. So really, now Fenn has Rivkin on his tail. Mayfield's gone.
You notice
Dang.
they're all pushing right now.
Yeah,
They picked up almost 20 seconds since we started watching.
I know. It's sorry. I mean, I don't know if this is entertaining to our viewers or not, but man,
Yeah.
it seems
Comment
well.
if you like this
Yeah,
or
it's
don't
on.
like this. What do you think?
It's on the West Coast, so they're two. I don't know if they're 1 or 2 hours behind us where they're at right now.
2. I think Idaho's 2.
Yeah, I
I
think
think they're
Idaho.
Mountain Time.
Yeah. Oh, so Mountain Time would be 1 behind me and 2 behind you.
Yeah.
So, and then yeah. All right.
Spencer with a long lap there.
Yeah.
It's
God,
going to be.
they're
Dakota
long.
picked up a whole bunch of time. Wow.
Yeah, 6.7 behind.
Yeah, I mean, still, but yeah. So, I forgot what you told me we were talking about this week. So,
We're talking about Mud Boss.
oh right,
So Traxxas,
dude, Dakota to the lead.
what?
I don't know what happened. I looked away.
Yeah.
It's I'm
Mayfield must
looking it
have
up
come in.
on.
Yep, Mayfield must have come in. He did. So Mud Boss. Now, Traxxas came out with a new oval car, and they're trying to get back into that racing side. I mean, this
Are they,
Mud
though?
Boss is not a basher vehicle. This vehicle is made specifically for oval racing. It has no other real use to it.
What other oval? What I mean, I don't think you would make an oval car to go bashing with. Are there
No,
bashing oval racers or
no, not really.
drivers?
And that might be something like used to do like you're talking earlier, like an enduro race or something like that. But what they did was instead of calling it a IMSA mod or a Midwest mod or something like that, they used a trademark name.
They didn't use a trademark name. They used a name with notoriety that did not have a trademark.
It has a trademark now. I don't know if that works after the fact. Salvas has trademarked Mud Boss.
It sounds like we're gonna see a lawsuit play out.
And like
because they have grounds on that.
Yes, we were talking earlier about it, and you're like, man, does that guy have the money? And my answer to that is I don't know. RC is a weird hobby. It's one of those hobbies to where the truly wealthy and the not so wealthy and everything in between come together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you got guys digging tires out of trash cans and other guys putting on a new set of tires every run.
Yeah.
So do they have the money? I don't know.
I don't know if they need the money though, because if they get like a pro bono lawyer, or like some of these lawyers now, like I don't know the logistics or the details of how it works, but like I see around my area a lot, like no fees unless you win.
Right.
I'm not reading the fine details. Does that mean like you got to pay a deposit or like I don't know, but.
So the thing about that is, in going to the no money down lawyers, is Traxxas has a team of third-party lawyers, and the reason that they sue so much is because those third-party lawyers have no real concept of RC and the community and what it looks like. They just say, hey, this is using our name that we have trademarked. Technically, I think Traxxas has Shocks trademarked. They have something absolutely silly like that is trademarked. But anyway, what else? So they sued HBO for using the name Max, very unsuccessfully.
I was about to say.
Because then HBO just changed to Max. Donald watching from Palmer, Alaska. It's awesome. He's got to be at least 2-3 hours behind me. He used to be a Minnesota guy. He used to be a MNRC racer way back in the day with gas trucks.
What happened to Rifkin?
I don't know.
A rock.
So on my,
oh
yeah, there we go. Huh. So Fee's back up into that number 3 spot. Did I just see a car like dead on the straightaway?
It may have been Rifkin's. I don't know what happened. He lost 2 laps.
Oh no. Yeah, yep. Well, I don't know, man. So are we gonna? You want to know the elephant in the room in all of this? You know who's? Oh, there's a dead car right there. That could be Rivkin. It's very, very hot there. So it's 5 p.m. So he's 3 hours behind. They got 17:40 left to go. Fenn's your leader, followed by Mayfield and Fee, and that's the way it started. Rose is in that number 4 spot. Man, it'd be rad if he could come off with a podium position.
That's a long ways to go. Well, it's not, but it is.
Yeah. Well, we got 17:20 left to go. Rose was all the way down to 7th at one point, so he's making his way through. That could be from cars falling out. That could just be him keeping the wheels on the ground.
Well, he's picking up time, so he's doing something right.
But man, you know, I just love the look of that Kyosho. I mean, that's a 13-year-old kid driving that car. That car is smooth. It's very forgiving. Yeah. I think with the death of HB, I think 2025 is going to be the Kyosho comeback year. What I was going to say is there's not one HB. Oh, Fee flips. I shouldn't have talked. No, dude.
Something happened to Fenn, too.
Yeah. What is up? I mean, I'm not going to say nothing because, you know, that surface could be pretty slippery. But, dude, these guys got to move. So, he says Scotty is going through the Dr. Pepper. I bet he is. I'm not playing the volume here, Donald, because I don't know the YouTube rules. And I'm assuming even playing it in the background with no noise could possibly get us kicked off YouTube. But we'll keep on going. If we get kicked off, you can listen to the recording on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get podcasts. So, and if we're not somewhere that you listen to podcasts, let me know.
Mayfield just took the lead.
Nice. Is he going to double up? Something happened with Mayfield in that truck. I didn't watch a Truggy main, but I went on to Alex Sturgeon's Facebook page and he goes, wow, Mayfield took that one with a lot of help from lap traffic. He goes, where are the rules now? Or where are the penalties now? Something like that. So anyways, back to the track. Go ahead. I was going to say, back to the Traxxas Mud Boss. What it is going to do is it's going to make Oval. Oval has already started to gain. It's always been kind of popular, but I've noticed in the last 2 years, at least in the Midwest, it has gained significant popularity. And this is going to blow it up. And if
specifically dirt oval so far.
Yes, dirt oval. The guy, like carpet oval, there's nothing wrong with it. But the thing is, I talked to Jeff Choban. Huh?
It's difficult and cutthroat. The dudes that are left in carpet oval are like the diehard guys.
Yeah. There are a lot of guys like that in dirt oval as well, but I was talking to Jeff Choban about carpet oval, and he says it's a 4-minute dyno pull.
Pretty
So it's
much.
like, yeah, that sounds. But this mud boss, like our local track, is gonna be you. You can change the shock fluid, but you have to run stock springs. You can change to a Metal Gear Traxxas servo with the same stats, but the servo's got to remain basically the same, and you can change your radio. And that's it. You can get a clear Traxxas body, but it has to be that Traxxas body.
Yeah, I think
So,
there's a local carpet track. I want to say like the Fort Wayne track in
yeah,
Indiana.
yeah,
It's like you can do, I think it was like open battery,
yeah.
but
I go ahead. I was gonna say I think he put a battery limit on, but
yeah, I think that would probably be good just to keep it like affordable.
yeah,
But yeah, but I mean, it was like the stock system. You could change oil, like, and no, any radio, and any, I think he said any servo, but
okay,
otherwise, like, you could do, like, that was it. And it's like anything, not, there was like 10 rules, but like anything not in those rules, you couldn't do it.
yeah.
This is the last one.
The open servo thing is fine. The thing about dirt oval is weird. You want the slowest possible servo, but strongest. Fritz Grimm checking in. He's I want to say he's living over in the Philippines or Thailand or something. He goes driving to the morning track. Just say ni hao. Donald saying he loved LTO in the Midwest back in the day. Carpet LTO, LTO, LTO. I don't know. Oh, is sprint car. Duluth, Minnesota had fear for that sprint car. I picked up a sprint car too. That thing's sweet. That's the other thing. I picked up a sprint car this week from a local racer. I got a pretty good deal on it, and it's the same brand that won the Chili Bowl. So
Yeah, I
I'm
saw that.
yeah. Now I just got to find myself a late model, and my oval season has started.
But I, yeah, so I think this is good. Traxxas bringing in the race car. I think it's bad for the Salvases. I wish like
Yeah.
they would have somehow collaborated and done this because they did put in the work to make the class popular, and not
Yeah.
to discredit everyone else, but like, whoever put in a lot of work to make that class popular, and then a big giant like Traxxas comes in and sees this opportunity for money, and they just make the car without, I'm sure, without discussing it really with anybody.
No. Yeah, they don't talk to anybody.
And so that was kind of, I don't know. I think it's good because it's going to get people from off the street into racing RC, like just
Yes.
right from the get. Um, and it kind of looks cool. The tracks incorporating the class immediately is very helpful.
Yes.
Um, them limiting what can be done to it also very helpful. I hope we don't have another Euro truck though.
So I don't know what happened with the Euro truck because I never owned one, but I know it was very popular and then it died.
Yes.
But
The pro funsters killed it. Like myself, I'm responsible for that. It's still fun to drive, but
gotcha.
people that are like, it should be a beginner's class. It
Yes,
shouldn't be I shouldn't be driving that car. Is what
I
I
agree. And I might get one of these mud bosses for Joe 3. I shouldn't even call it a mud. It doesn't even follow mud boss rules. They have a little bit different rules for mud boss. But I might get one for Joe 3 just to get him rolling. Traxxas could have done it, like you said, a different way. And what sucks is they created a volatile divide in the oval community. Like there's a guy under the Salva's webpage. He's like, you should be flattered. And it's like, flattered? Dude, I'd be like, I want to get paid.
I mean, it is flattering to do that or to have that happen. But at the same time, it like really sucks because yeah, like I would also want to get paid because I put in all this work and like now a big company is coming to do this. I think the smart thing to probably would have been for Traxxas to try and negotiate with
Yep.
them, but also like there's probably no like real clear line when they started this, and they probably didn't think this all the way through. Traxxas probably didn't think it all the way through because like the proper thing to do to go to like figure out who created this class that you're
Yep.
trying to copy, which is what you're doing. You're creating a
Yep.
copy of it.
Yep.
You're stealing somebody's idea essentially. You're like, hey, look,
Yes.
we'll give you I don't know, $20,000 to use the Mud Boss and for all this stuff, and you got sign this thing that says we can use it. You can still do your thing, but you got to change the name.
Sure.
We're buying the Mud Boss name, and yeah, it's just two different classes.
Yeah.
That would have been the
Thanks.
smart thing to do. $20,000 to Traxxas is probably peanuts.
Yep.
Salvas would have come back with 100 or 200, whatever. Traxxas would have came back with 50, and you meet somewhere in the middle, you know. But
So-
they could have both been happy.
So Donald saying it comes down to patents and copyrights. I don't think he was on here when I said like a couple days ago the Salvas just trademarked the name. So Traxxas did not trademark the name, which is very odd. It is very. Oh, who's that? Somebody's coming in. This is their final pits. There's Mayfield. Mayfield was pulling away because Fence. Keep it on the wheels. Fence started blowing out.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he had 37 and a 36-second lap and a 35-second lap when Fenn was pulling 33s. So, yeah, this is a lot of fun. Yeah, it's one of those things that it'll, in the long run, it'll be a good thing. But man, they could have done it without this controversy.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be RC without some drama.
I know.
Yeah.
It just sucks. I had something else in my head. Oh, I yelled at Joe 3 for a while last night about his RC car.
Yeah,
And
what for?
when I say yell, and I mean yell, because if there's any parents watching, at what point do you stop doing everything for your kid? Because the week before the last week's race, I spent 3 days getting his car nice and fresh. He ran in the mud Sunday, and I was announcing, so I couldn't do it for him. I said, Joe, you need to get the mud off of that car before it dries. And when I say the car's got to get clean because the track had an enormous amount of calcium chloride in it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't really look at I knew he didn't do that great of a job, but I didn't really look at it till last night. He wrecked the car because he didn't get it clean.
Mm.
And he's asking me, is there anything I can do? I'm like, no, you wrecked the goddamn car. I said, dude, you don't understand the financial ramifications of this. So if there's any parents watching along, when do you cut that? When do you cut the cord? Because now next week I told Joe, you're going to race a rusty car that you're probably going to break CV axles. You're probably going to break an outdrive. You might break a sway bar. Everything that is steel on that car has a significant amount of rust on it. And I'm like, I just can't anymore. He started racing when he was 6, and he's always made big-ish mistakes. I think it's time for that to be done. I
Well,
think it's time for, go
a
ahead.
couple questions. How old's Joe?
12.
Okay. And now I don't know anything about calcium chloride on RC cars because when I raced dirt, they didn't have nothing fancy like that. You just go throw
Right.
it in the dirt and you go race.
So we've
Uh,
always had calcium at this one particular track for like 20 years because
okay.
it's the type of clay it is.
So I mean, could you be blowing this one out of proportion? Is the rust surface level and just needs to be cleaned off,
No,
or
it's scaled.
okay?
Eh,
I don't know anything about it. I'm just
no,
asking.
right. And afterwards, like last year, I got done on the track myself. I raced there last year and I got my truck clean immediately, and there was still a little bit of surface rust that happened because unless you take every piece off and clean the living crap. Oh, Cavalieri up to the 5 spot. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. I don't know, man. Sometimes I do blow shit out of proportion, especially at the track because it's such a high stress situation. But then it's like, this is just like too far, man. Yeah. Theodore's saying calcium is, yeah, it does eat metal within a day or two. And it looked like it snowed on the track the way they put it.
Mm.
Yeah, Donald's right. I have worked with them to teach him the maintenance, Donald, and I have taught him the value of $1, but it's, the kids
Until
on
it's your
YouTube.
dollar, it's
Yeah, it's not his dollar. Exactly. He's on YouTube all frickin' day long. He should watch some Adam Drake videos and Spencer Rivkin videos about proper car maintenance. I don't know, man. It still aggravates me. I showed him how clean I want the car, and I said, this took me 5 minutes to get this all off. He's like, well, I don't know. It's like, you do know. You just didn't want to do it. So, yeah.
well. I mean, that's one of those things where he's at that age where he's like should know better, but like he's not there yet.
Well, what I notice is maybe with the exception of a couple of the kids at the track, and when I say a couple, I mean 2. Okay, when I was 12, I was doing my shocks and my rear diff every single week because that's what you had to do on the old Associateds to keep them proper. I mean, you didn't have to, but it helped. And I enjoyed it. And if I ever needed help, my dad was right there, and I'm right there. Joe could sit at the bench, but the kids, they're not into that aspect of it the way I was. Like I asked him, hey, buddy, what's your car doing? I don't know, but it's not good. And I've been working with him since he started racing. Okay, if the rear end's doing this, it's loose. If it's doing in the corner, out of the corner, that type of junk like that. Theodore is saying he deals with calcium in tractor tires all the time, and the rim is shot when he does. Yeah, Donald's probably right. Joe 3 probably doesn't want it as much, but I asked him, dude, if you want to be done with racing, we can be, or not me, he can be done with racing, but he's always like, no, I love racing. Oh, Ryan Mayfield's going to come across. Ryan Mayfield wins Truggy coming around the step down the straightaway. Ryan Mayfield, your 2024 A-Scale Fuel Off-Road Champion. That's so cool.
Who's the girl? Is that his wife?
I hope it's his wife. That better.
I don't know much about Ryan, so
yeah. That better be his dang wife.
Imagine.
Oh, dude. Yep. Jason's right there. Dude, that's awesome. And Fend, he took second, and he's angry.
Yeah, well, you know what? There's only one winner, so
Yeah. Fee
at
on
the
the
end of the day,
podium.
I guess Mayfield won it more than Fend.
I forget what race they were at earlier this year, but Mayfield talks in a very analytical, straight line way about his racing. I think it was Psychoblast, to where Mayfield goes, I'm glad Dakota made mistakes because I had a second place car, because Mayfield will only drive at 95%. And of course, he still makes mistakes here, there, and the other. But Mayfield only had a second place car. Fend was pulling away, and then Fend either made a mistake or flamed out. And God, you know what? I don't care if we get kicked off. Hold on, let me unmute this. It might be loud.
You had. I mean, man,
Oh, what the crap?
it was so fast in qualifying, but we just kept working on the car and we got it pretty close. And then right at last second, Paul's like, hey, we got these A1s, like the hardest tire we make. And I'm like, give them to me. I got to do something. And I put them on and it woke that thing up. I mean, Dakota was still the fastest guy, but it gave me a couple more tenths that I needed to just like kind of keep everybody honest a little bit out there. And then at the end, yeah, I just tried to keep the car on all four wheels. It's so difficult to drive. The tires are bald. It's hot. It's just like, man, the last minute I'm like, just get to the line. Like, sounds like it's gonna blow up, But then my amazing wife flew in. We're gonna hang out this week with Dakota and Chloe, so that's super cool to see her up on the driver's stand. And yeah, hell of a drive from Dakota. He was rolling out there, and Fee, we had a great battle at the beginning. That was super fun. And yeah, man, can't say enough about the Techno team. We worked so hard all week, just analyzing every single thing we possibly could. Trury, my pit guy, on it this week, finding a lot of stuff. And man, I don't know. I'm beat. I was out there thinking, I'm playing with house money. I already won the truck. Like, let's just send it and see what happens. And yeah, it worked out. I can't believe it. And yeah, I'm done. Beer's good.
Yeah, a couple years ago, Dakota did a sweep, but did you ever think that coming here to possible to be able to do that?
I mean, I know I'm capable of it, and I know the cars are capable of it. It's just, putting the whole program together. And I had a little luck on my side. Dakota did make more mistakes than I did. He was for sure the fastest dude. Mason was super fast. He flamed out as well, but I knew this track was going to be, just finish, and you're going to have a shot possibly. So that's what we worked on the engine so much this week, like I told you earlier, and it ran flawless the whole time. The car worked, car stayed together. So great pit stops.
I'm going to mute this. So Adam Drake is in the background talking with his hands. I wonder if he's giving advice or lecturing somebody.
I want to know who he's talking to.
Me too. It's like you almost see the guy. I wonder
if it's Chicky. He's kind of small.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, they turned the
Donald's always fighting for those tents. Dude, I have one set of A1s for the Nitro buggy for that rare 100-degree day in Minnesota, just in case. They are ridiculous, like how stiff they are. And do we see what Dakota has to say?
Sure.
All right. DRC team member.
Long battle. Yeah, man, this track was absolutely gnarly. We were all making lots of mistakes there in the beginning, trying to adjust to it and stuff. And yeah, it was a lot different. Ryan always shows up for the mains, he knows how to get it done, and he drove his ass off out there. So props to him. Just too many mistakes on my part, and just really struggled to get into a rhythm. Every time I thought I was rolling, I was going, I'd kind of make a bobble here or there somewhere else. And yeah, man, this track was gnarly. So congrats to Ryan, congrats to Fee, he drove awesome, and it was absolutely brutal out there, man. We worked our butts off, Dylan did awesome in the pits, helping and wrenching in the pits as well. Done for all the help with the setup, my wife, and just everyone for all the support.
You directly qualified in. You didn't get a chance to run the semis. You had practice.
That is tricky.
Practice. Is that any negative side to that?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, I think there's obviously a huge risk. You saw a lot of flame outs, a lot of people breaking in the semi and the main as well. So it's really nice to be able to start out front and not have that risk. Obviously, the track I think changed quite a bit from when we we ran the practice. So that's kind of where you get that disadvantage. So kind of give and take there.
For sure. Who do you want to give a shout out and thanks to?
Yeah, I think you said thanks to TLR for all the support, Dylan for all the hard work in the pits and the awesome pit stops. The DP Ultimate engines just came out earlier this week and got awesome mileage. It was able to drop a stop. And Jake Concepts, Jason and Paul for all the support, and all my other sponsors.
Well done. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Let us get Fee Long in here. Fee.
Sure.
What an absolute amazing job you did. You said when I came up, you said...
Oh, you know what I noticed?
My waist just started hurting instead of my aches. So.
What do you think when you're
Scotty's a
out there
magnet
driving
guy.
against the guys that you grew up watching, Dakota Fan,
Guys a what?
to be able to
That
race
thing around his
against them?
wrist?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I didn't.
Oh.
I exceeded my expectations.
Well, that is
Maybe it's from his kid or something.
Online was,
Yeah.
was cheering for you and really, really hoping for you. And it was just an impressive drive. Who do you want to say thanks to?
Special thanks to my dad, Mr. Yutz, Trey Concepts, and Prevail Paint, and Sidewinder, and any other.
Oh
sponsor
yeah,
I
of
missed.
course. Yeah, one of the few Kyosho guys here. So it's great to see you running. I told you earlier on the first day, I like the white parts you have on your car, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, great job. Congratulations. Third place. Well done.
That is one of the
Thank you.
cool things you can do with Kyosho. Like you can get your side guards and wings in like different colors. So you're not just stuck with black. You could do white, green, orange, pink. There's a few others. I ran a Kyosho before I was long before I was on Associated. I had an MP9 TKI4 and I just loved that thing. Donald saying long future for that young man. If he wants it, Donald, that stick radio thing, that, we all say if we had a time machine, if I had a time machine, Joe 3 would have a stick radio, I think.
Mm.
Well, so if you see the guys that use the stick radio, there's a few of them. There's a lot over in Europe. Ungaro uses a stick radio, and if you use it the way Fee and the way Ungaro uses it, it's... Have you seen the video of Ungaro's hands on a stick radio? Just... it is insane. They're not lazy on that thing. Donald saying his first kit was a Kyosho Optima Mid 4x4. Nice. Yeah, Kyosho's been around for a while. I bet they're just watering it to keep the dust down. I'm like, why the hell are they watering? What are they watering for? But did they run the junior A-main yet? Are you in results? Oh, Zach says his internet's down. Oh, no. He said he'll be back in a minute. Man, guys, is there anybody there that has ran a HRCR or HCRC? Is it as amazing as it looks? This track just looks phenomenal. I want to go there and run fifth scale. I really do. Yeah, I don't know if Zach's going to make it back, but if he doesn't. So who's all in the chat right now? What's everybody up to? Yeah, I didn't really have many notes, All I had was basically the Mud Boss deal and me going into the booth for, well, there's Zach. Let me add him back.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. It happens. I'm not going to talk now because I shouldn't, but my internet has never gone down during this, and I go straight Wi-Fi. I should have a line.
You said that for like the last, 10 episodes or whatever. However long I've been on here, you've been saying it.
I was literally going to do it yesterday, and then we got home from buying the car, and then there was early UFC fight card. They were in Saudi Arabia,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, it's just like the day was shot. And then today, yeah. Oh, also today I had to get my daughter up and have her out the door at 5:30. She went to Key West, Florida for a Girl Scout trip.
Boy.
Yeah, lucky kid.
Um,
Look at him lay that water down, and it's just getting absorbed immediately.
mhm.
So,
Could you bring up that picture I sent you on Facebook, Joe?
yep, I will. Let me get out a full screen. I will in 2 seconds. Sorry about this. There we go. I just got to bring it up. Let me unshare this.
Yeah.
So, there we
So,
go.
if you guys don't know what I've been doing, so WMH Racing is a friend of mine. His name's Andrew. I've known him for like 20 years, or pretty much my whole racing career. And so recently he came out with some racing products, maybe about a year now. And we partnered up a couple months after he developed these products. And we've been working on promoting them and doing some testing. And I've been helping him, giving some ideas and that kind of stuff. I'm
Yep.
also a distributor for his products. So
Right.
one of his newest products is called the Battery Wizard.
Yep.
And it's
Sorry, I didn't get a picture on Messenger. Is it on your Facebook page?
no, I sent it to you.
Okay, sorry
I'll send
about
it
that.
again.
Oh, do you send it to Ran Out of Talent?
No, I sent it to Joe earlier. I just sent it
Okay.
again.
Oh, there it is. I got something now.
All right. So the Battery Wizard is a battery performance measuring device, similar to what the
Yes.
Motorlizer is for it's a little expensive. It's like $350. It's all handmade in the U.S. Handcrafted in the U.S. He does all the boards himself. He did the design himself. He solders on all the stuff. He does all the calibration. He was telling me about the calibration. It takes him like an hour and a half to calibrate each one.
Sure.
And he's going through, and so what all that calibration does is it goes and it makes, so if you buy a Battery Wizard, Joe, for example,
Yep.
we can take our two Battery Wizards and compare the data from two batteries. So with any other machine, you can't do that because they're not calibrated closely enough. So like if you have, let's say, for example, this 5200 Phantom battery,
Yes.
and you run the same cycle at 35 amps at 100 degrees, like I do, you could get very similar numbers to this on your Battery Wizard. It's calibrated within 1%, which is way better than like anything else in the RC industry.
Yep.
For example. So what this picture is I wanted to, for myself, what happens to a battery over time after so many cycles. So you can see the tally marks in the top right corner. I have 9 cycles on this battery since it was brand new. I got it. I ran 2 cycles on it, which you can read about on the DRC Facebook page, and I'll be updating it after this as well. And so I did this test today. The milestones on the Battery Wizard are 8.0 volts, 7.9, and 7.8 volts. So for my battery, this battery comes off at like 7.7 volts.
Okay.
After a 5-minute run on a big asphalt track in Mod Turf. So just for ease of use, I'm comparing the milestones in the IR from the Battery Wizard, which is not the same as the way iCharger measures IR. And after discussing it with Andy, the way iCharger does is not a proper way to do.
Right.
Because it's not replicable. It's a whole thing. He can tell you all about it. I'm not going to go.
Well, so sorry to interrupt, but with the iCharger, like if you can change your IRs by messing with the spread of the bullets that go in the battery.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead.
Yeah. So the with the battery wizard, it doesn't matter as long as you have a lead that's properly soldered together,
Yep.
and is like doesn't have like completely beat down everything and has a proper connection. You'll get the same numbers because it doesn't rely on that lead to. You don't need like a super high quality DRC lead to get these numbers. You could use whatever you got laying around that has an XT90 on it to your battery connector.
Okay.
So these numbers, so what they are, the first number is the 8.0 volt number. It took 42 seconds.
Yep.
And then the 7.9 took 70 seconds. And then the 7.8 volt took 97 seconds at
Okay.
35 amps at 100 degrees. So I can dive into like more of those details, but for scientific purposes of testing, what I'm doing is I'm doing a cycle beforehand, which is not what you need to do, but it's what I did when I first got it because you don't know how long a battery's been sitting. So
Right.
like, let's say you get a fresh battery. People ask
Yep.
me what I recommend to like break in a battery. Well,
Yeah.
LiPos don't have memory, so you don't really need to do anything other than run it one time in practice before you go run it. Because
Right.
what does happen is like the kind of the chemistry in the battery needs stirred up again to become a good pack. So you need one
Mhm.
like throwaway run to go get the battery in race shape because you don't know
Right.
how long the cells have been sitting on the shelf from the manufacturer, meaning the person that actually makes the battery, how long they've been sitting in the warehouse at the battery manufacturer after it's made, how long they've been sitting at the battery selling this example Phantom. I don't know
Yep.
how long that battery's been sitting on the shelf.
Sure.
So one cycle, and normally I just go run it in practice before
Yep.
I do that. And the first run it's always kind of meh, but after that it's fine. But just for sake of use, what I do is I do a cycle and then I do another cycle at 35 amps and 100 degrees. And you can see the date stamps on here, the part as well. So what I'm doing is I'm tallying up my results before or not my results, my runs, my total number of cycles, including the cycles on the machine.
Yeah.
So it has 9 total cycles since I've gotten it, and I'm going to
Yes.
keep doing this with the battery to see how it degrades over time. And does it stop? Does the same thing happen with 7.6 volt packs? Because this is a 7.4 volt pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's
this
a
is
question for you. So, can you do? Is it 7.4 at IFMAR events?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was wondering why you're doing a 7.4.
No, I'm doing a 7.4. A number of reasons. So I run for Phantom.
Yep.
And so just so you guys know, in case you don't, so I run their products. Now, unfortunately, the none of the Phantom products are IFMAR approved. So
Okay.
I'm running a Hobby Wing ESC, a Hobby Wing motor, and I'm running a Phantom battery because I can get them from Phantom at relatively low cost.
Yes.
And then I will be switching to another manufacturer's battery, but I needed a larger battery, a large milliamp battery. Is
Yep.
why I went with this battery because I was running a 4800 ULCG high voltage pack before, which is really a 4400 if you only
Yeah.
charge it to 4.2 volts per cell.
Sure.
The battery was coming off at 150 plus degrees
Yeah.
after the run, and I could only do one practice lap.
Okay.
I feel comfortable after 2, especially now that we're not
Yeah.
heating tires. It's kind of been.
So, did they make a ruling on that? Is there no? Are they
I
saying
don't
no
know.
tire warmers? Are
Oh
you gonna
yeah,
bring
so
them?
there's no tire warmers.
Okay.
I'm not bringing tire warmers.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to go to. I was going to go to the Roar. So I want to go to all these races, but I can't afford to, and I can't afford to take the time off with
Right.
my family as well. So I was going to go to the Roar Nationals in Texas
Yep.
and hang out with my friends there. But I want to do well at Worlds, So and they're gonna have a Worlds warm up. So I'm probably gonna go to the Worlds warm up instead of the Texas race.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Donald's
and there's
saying,
no warmers.
sorry, Donald's saying he's like in a mix of Exalt and Phantom gear in his X-Ray X4. He's in Alaska. So you're gonna go to the World's warm up, and then, I mean, do they race weekly where you've been racing pavement, or is it an every other week deal? Or
It's about every other week. So they also do like a series thing. So they raced a week ago, I guess, and it was in Pennsylvania.
yep,
Um, I'm tired of driving as much as I do. Not
yes,
driving another. Well, it was 9 hours to the track, and the track they were going to was a nitro race.
okay,
I would probably go to like Florida if I was gonna go, or Texas or California, but I'm gonna fly because I'm going by myself,
yes.
and it's an $800 plane ticket wherever I'm going,
I don't blame you.
plus a hotel, and then I got parts on the car and tires and ugh.
Lee's wondering what's a good subject hobby wing ESC combo Mach 1 batteries. Oh, he's saying he's liking the hobby wing ESC with Mach 1
Yeah.
batteries. Well, Lee, right now Zach is getting ready for the world, so he's running as close as he can to he's running as
Will
close
be
as he
IFMAR
can.
approved.
They'll be IFMAR approved, yes. So are you still in Louisville?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious, because I don't think that's like terribly far from me. It's only 10 and a half hours for me. So because you said Pennsylvania, I'm like, man, that sounds insane. It would be insanely far for me, but yeah. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
well, Donald's saying hobby wing and laughing, but the thing is that new hobby wing motor, is fast. They got something there, but yeah, Donald's saying the Reedy 610. Reedy 610 is my go-to as well. But anyway, so hey, so we're talking about this, and I was talking earlier that in our chat that so when I used to race mini truggy, I didn't get scientific like this, but I used to replace the battery every other month, weekly racing, because the IRs would get up to about, I would say, 2.5 to 3 a cell, and it would puff. I'm like, well, this battery's now probably dangerous. So I replace it, and I tried, because at the time I was not sponsored by Associated, because I do get a pretty darn good deal on Reedy packs. But I was trying all packs. I tried Phantom, I tried R1, down the line, and it was the same result no matter which pack.
Yeah, I mean there's only like 3 battery manufacturers in the world, so
Yeah. And we're not doing the man, I'm not gonna be a jerk, so I'm not gonna. So yeah, let's not. One thing I was wondering, so when you're done with the Worlds, Asphalt Worlds, I know you're probably gonna take a break, but
I'm going carpet racing.
I was gonna say, are you gonna race
I only get to race
asphalt
like
anymore?
once a month.
Okay.
So even if I go like twice a month, it's not. I've got 6 more races I can attend
Yep.
at the local track before the Worlds.
Yep.
I'm probably the next race after Worlds will be Cleveland for me.
Okay.
It's about maybe a 5-hour drive. I don't remember.
Cleveland, is that the Thanksgiving deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta talk that over with my wife to
Yeah, I was gonna
see if
say.
she wants to go to Thanksgiving, because we went last year. I've been trying to do like every other year.
Yeah.
So I didn't go was it 2 years?
2 years ago, you didn't have a baby.
Oh, don't start with me.
No, I'm not
I got
gonna.
other
But
stuff.
so I've been. So I'm gonna give you, and I'm gonna give all the dads on here fatherly advice. I was there for 99.9% of my kids coming up, but I did do dickhead things. Not dickhead, but it's like I skipped something, a holiday or this or that or the other to go racing. And I shouldn't say dickhead thing because it's not a dickhead thing, but it changes, man. And I can only imagine Beth with 2 kids in her arms, and I'm not there to help. You know what I mean? But you only have one, so it won't be a big deal. And you know what?
And family would come, somebody would come down, or she would go up to
I
do
was,
the, yeah.
yeah. Well, I was also going to say that when you only have one, grandma comes and takes that baby, and you don't see it till it's time to go home anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. But I'm gonna go carpet racing after that.
yeah,
Um, no, I don't get to like race a whole bunch, and that's why a part of the reason I don't is because I spend time with my family and do stuff with
exactly.
them. Like this weekend we did, the Veggie Fest, we went to Renaissance Fair, and
Oh, you went
today
to Renfest?
yeah, yeah. My
Dude,
wife has this whole garb thing. She likes to.
you'd be shocked, but that's my jam. I
No,
love the Renfest.
I can see you being like you taking off your stiletto boots and you just putting on like some like elf tips
Yeah.
and maybe like a Velcro beard and then you're like a gnome.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things too. It's I never thought I would like it, and that's one of the things. Both of my kids were like, "Dad, you got to come. Mom's not as fun as you." It's like, all right, I'll
So,
go.
I mean, Donald brings up a good point, but Donald, I don't think you have an RC business.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Zach
kinda,
has to race because
I don't know. I to stay relevant in the
yes,
RC racing industry, I need to race
exactly.
or have a
And you-
ginormous team,
yeah,
and I don't, and I
yeah,
don't want to.
yeah. I don't blame you. But yeah, dude, the Renfest it usually comes late summer to early fall in Minnesota. Oh, one more thing before I ask you my last question. Do you have HBO Max or whatever?
Yeah.
There's a limited docu series on there just called Ren Fair. Watch it. It's about this creepy old dude who owns this Renaissance It's like, oh, cool, a docu series about a Renaissance festival. It quickly becomes not that, and it's freaking cringy and hilarious and gross. And
Okay.
so anyways, last thing before I let you go, is there anything new at Donathan Racing?
Well, last week we launched the so we have a restock of all of our lipo bags.
Yep.
Actually, I have.
Yes.
So like the lipo bag like this, and there's other boxes under here. We also have the new magnetic lipo safe.
Yep.
Which replaced our standard one. So instead of Velcro holding it down, it uses magnets.
Yep.
Cool thing about that, you can open it with one hand. I did a little video about it.
Yep.
It's almost more secure than the Velcro because the
Sure.
Velcro eventually wears out, even though like the Velcro. So if you guys know anything about our lipo bags, they're pretty much the best material you can buy. Like there's not.
Yes.
I can't source a better material. The threads, it seems like top of the line.
Yes.
The Velcro is the same way because I wasn't happy with the Velcro that they came with. So I was like, well, we got it. Like, I need a better Velcro, or like, I'm going to send you better Velcro. Like, something's got to happen.
Yes.
So we use like good Velcro or
Yep.
hook and loop. I don't even know what they
So
didn't tell me.
the material we make the bags out of Do you know
Mm.
I still have a functioning original bag that I still use at home every now and again when I'm working on stuff? You know, the big heated sack?
The
Because
heated lipo safe.
safe, yes. What is that? You came out with that 6 years ago, I think.
So, fun thing. So, if you go to the DRC Facebook page, we are
Yes.
doing a many part. I don't know how many parts they're going to be because I'm writing it as I go.
Yep.
Right now, I think this week was part 6. Here,
Okay.
and so last,
I would
I would say
pull it
last
up,
week.
but I just closed all my extra browsers.
You're good. So I'll tell you. So in part 6, no, part 6 I just wrote. Part 6 will be next week. Part 4 talks about the heated lipo safe and the heated lipo sleeves.
Gotcha.
So that was 2 weeks ago. Also I guess, yeah. Oh, part 4, yeah. Oh no, part.
Hold on real quick.
I
Have a good one,
mislabeled.
Donald. Donald's signing off. So anyway.
Sorry, I'm rambling, but
No, you're
yeah.
fine.
So, that was 2018. So that was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I looked it up, which is crazy.
And I have your current products as well, but I still have the old one I bust out every once in a while when I'm doing work at home as well.
So it still works good.
Works
It's only
fine.
heated on the bottom, and
Yep.
it heats the batteries to too high of a temperature.
Yep. You don't have the same
Just-
control.
Yeah, it was made for batteries that like to be warmer.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's a cool thing to document now. We have a new at DR. I know we're talking a lot about DRC, but
No, that's why I brought it up. I said, "What's new at DRC?"
But so we do have a consultant that's helping us. Her name's Shy. She's doing a good job. Like social media content, email content. She's starting to take over some of the social media messaging and commenting and
Yep.
taking some of that stuff off my plate because I can't do everything and I'm running out of time to do stuff, which is now why you see our lead time actually going down instead of staying the same.
Right.
And people's orders going out early. Instead of on time / maybe a little late because I don't have to do all this stuff and I can try
Right.
to streamline some of this. And when something's wrong, I just call her and be like, hey, fix this. And then it gets fixed. But yeah.
So since she has that social media presence and whatnot, what does she think about you being on a podcast? Does she like it? Is she like, it's a whatever?
I don't know. I didn't ask her opinion.
Okay. I was curious because, yeah. The one thing I do miss about DRC and you going live is the milestone giveaways.
I want to bring that back. And it just, with the father stuff, this podcast now, like,
well, it's also hard.
It's also kind of hard. Yeah.
It's hard because let's say you did one for 7,000, which you probably hit it last week. How many of those are like bots and all that? Because I notice with all of my pages across all platforms, and I don't have 7,000 anything, but the more followers I get, the more bots I get as well.
So I was just doing them on Facebook. I don't have whatever you have here is way fancier than what I was doing. I was just doing, it was pretty much the setup, but I was doing through OBS and just, you know, my wife was helping me take down the winners and it's hard to do. And then we had the giveaway list and yeah. And then also I appreciate it, but at the same appreciate everyone commenting and it's me trying to show appreciation to people that our customers and our supporters maybe is a better word, because it's not just the customers that have won stuff. It's people that just like the page, and then like that's sufficient.
Yes.
Because we were doing like a like, follow, share thing. So if you like the post or the page, excuse me, you shared the post and you commented friend's name or something, I think you were qualified to enter to win. And we had like 100 and some things, and then we had to go through and take out the people who already had won that year, and then
Right.
the team guys, because they get that kind of stuff, and
Yep.
and they get their own thing that nobody wants to participate in the team. I don't understand how the team works, but I mean, the team page, like I post stuff and nobody comments.
Well, the thing is, so I see it, and then I usually see it when I'm in the middle of something at work, because when you like hit Facebook and you're on it for 5 seconds and you go, huh, and then you go back to doing whatever you're doing.
No.
I have a L-shaped desk, and it's like my computer's here, my printer and other stuff is here, and I have my phone like right in the L. So I'll be doing stuff and I'll rotate, and then I'll swipe, I'll look at my phone. Oh, okay. Turn it off. That's part of the reason why it's like I always forget to go back to stuff, because I really shouldn't look at my phone. If I look at my phone, I should look at it less, but for more time each time. Because it's like I see something, I mean to comment on it or share it or do this or that and the other, and I just plain forget because work takes over. And so anyway, yeah, man, it was a good podcast. Congratulations to Ryan Mayfield for just driving an excellent 60-minute main. Your 2024 Roar National Champion in both classes. Truggy in.
So, did we do picks for our favorites for Worlds?
We have, but I want to do it a little closer. I want to see if Ronald Falk can pull his head out of his rear end, because he still has a couple months to do that. He's been doing poorly. I want to see if JCC keeps doing well in Europe on J Concepts tires. I mean, J Concepts tires are awesome, but it gets a little bit, the heat, I don't know if it's a dryer heat or what it is, but he's been making them work. It took him a little bit. Ungaro's going to be on top no matter what. They're really chasing Ungaro. That's what they're doing. I mean, the dude's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Even on Matrix tires, he's still winning. He's just not winning by a mile like he was. So,
True.
yeah, I see an S-Works buggy win in the Worlds. I really do. It will be
JC3.
It could be. Well, I shouldn't. It'll be a pillow ball car. Spain is a pillow ball car track. It really is.
We don't know what's going to be. I mean, what I don't remember the difference between a pillow ball and the C block. Like, what makes which better?
So the pillow ball is better on a smoother surface. It's more reactive steering. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
C-Hub is much more forgiving, better in the divots, of course. Your front end doesn't dig as much, all that other junk. So, yeah. So, anyway, I have to go to bed because I got 6 a.m. jiu-jitsu. And, yeah, I got to work my rear end off on, my A scale. Joey's is going to sit there. And my fifth scale. And Joey's is going to sit there. Unless he wants to work on it. Now, if he wants to work on it, I'm right there for him. But he has shown no interest in doing the work. So his stuff's just going to sit there.
Well, maybe he'll learn the lesson then, that when he's tired of fixing it at the track because it broke, because of, whatever. for some preventative thing.
Oh, real quick, I forgot to tell you. So Senior might have come up with a solution to my motor mount screws coming out. So he bought me a 1/4-inch ratchet drive of Allen heads. So instead of trying to tighten that 3mm screw down with your regular MIP, I'm going to put a ratchet on that SOB. So maybe I can get that extra half a turn without stripping it.
I don't think the problem is going to be tightening them. I think it's going to be getting them back out.
Yeah. Well, use the ratchet to get it out too, maybe. I don't know.
I think you're going to strip it getting it out.
I hope not. God, I hope not. Because I
But then
stripped it. I stripped them out in the old chassis just with the regular MIP. So
Yeah, but that's probably, you should probably replace those screws often. I mean, screws are cheap, Joe.
no, I do replace them often. I replace them. This will be the 3rd time this year I've been replacing them because they've fallen out 3 times. Just this is the first time in a main that they've fallen out.
Well, I encourage you to measure your caliper, or measure the tip of your 2mm with a caliper.
Yeah, but everybody's like,
Oh,
why don't you use Loctite? Of course I use Loctite. Well, aren't you tightening them down? Dude, I'm putting everything I have into that Allen wrench. Like the vein pops out of my forehead. I'm putting everything into it, and they're still coming out. And it's an
Are
issue.
you using the paste or the liquid Loctite?
The liquid. But it's a thing. It's something that you have to look at twice a race day. Everybody who runs fifth scale has to look at it. But I'm taking the frickin' ratchet to it when the new ones come in the mail.
Get the paste. Get the paste Loctite.
Lynn, I normally don't because they're normally brand. Well, no, I have sprayed them off with motor cleaner and it did not work. So
You should, because they come oiled.
yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to try that next time. All right, guys. I'm Joe Zer Jr. and with me has been my co-host Zach Donathan from DRC, and we have ran out of talent. Have a good night, guys.